been doing this for almost 12 years. We'll try to translate and hopefully that we'll be able to. We'll not do AI translation today, sorry. It will be a normal videos. The first one will have, it's an ad actually, done by AI. We will see that for a minute. The second one is by the latest Sora. Sora, if you have seen, many of you have seen, but it will be very interesting for you to see. It's the latest drop in the AI market. This is as new as I think 2 weeks now. We will see the second video does not have audio, so while it is playing on the background, we will probably have some kind of a discussion. So I request our projectionist to just, you can, maybe only one light you can switch off, but you can play the ad first. And
Are you ready for best pizza of life?
so this is
Bring
a
friends
pizza
down to
ad
Pepperoni
completely done by
Hut
AI.
Our chefs make pizza with heart and special touch. Cheese, pepperoni, vegetable, and more secret things. Need delivery? Pizzas come fast. Knock knock, who's there? Pizza magic. Eat Pepperoni Hut Spot pizza. Your tummy say thank you. Your mouth say, mmm. Pepperoni Hut Spot. It's like family, but with more cheese. Are you ready for best pizza of life? Bring friends down to Pepperoni Hug Spot. Our chefs make pizza with heart and special touch. Cheese, pepperoni, vegetable, and more secret things. Need delivery? Pizzas come fast. Knock knock, who's there? Pizza magic. Eat Pepperoni Hug Spot pizza. Your tummy say thank you. Your mouth say pepperoni. It's like family, but with more cheese.
So this video, we'll continue the next one. This video was done about 8 months ago. And completely, there is no actors, there is no video, there is no audio, there is no, everything was done by AI, including the script. The one next we are showing is the latest one in the AI market, which is called Sora. It is dropped 2 weeks ago, and now you will see the difference. The idea is when you give a prompt, ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬೀಚ್ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಈಗ AI ವಾಪಸ್ this video, all videos which it is giving up is now about 6 seconds, but cut it. Sora video play. Play ಮಾಡಿ. So, ನೀವು a prompt ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಈಗ it is throwing this video. Everything is AI generated in this. A litter of golden retriever puppies playing in the snow. There is nothing, any VFX or anything involved. The AI is directly giving this. Sana, I would like to while the video is going on. It's on.
So, what the change which is happening? Hello.
I see. Yeah, you can go.
So the image generation, the kind of change which is happening now, it is really groundbreaking, right? So when you look at it, it wonders us because we have, most of us as a filmmakers or an image creator.
I think an astronaut or something, and everything, the face, everything is AI generated in this. Yeah, I think we'll see probably 2 more and stop it, because there are about 25 videos or something like this. See, you see so many people walking snow. I mean, it's crazy that this is not a real one. Yeah, idadmele we can stop it. We'll start the conversation. So what you saw now, I'm sure a lot of people who had not seen this before, is mind-boggling. You know, it is crazy that how much of video generation is happening now. Right now it is happening for 60 seconds, but it's just a matter of time that it can jump to 60 minutes in the next couple of months. Now, probably the one thing which is probably right now missing is the storytelling part of it. As to what is happening is there's just a prompt given. One the line kodta irodakke rewriting scripts for a better way and rewriting it to submission to production houses. What is this AI challenge which is going to come to you, or how probably the script analysis of and development? What do you see the AI part of it, and how, as a company which is strongly involved in script generation, how do you take it forward?
Yelloru namaskara. Just to give you a quick background on what I do, we are a company that represents writers. We're the first company in the country to represent writers. By that we mean that we them try to make their projects happen, find investors, package their projects for films, for docus, for series and shows, etc. We represent talent from all parts of the country and some outside the country too. Yeah. Now, coming back to the question, Anand, I think technology, like I was discussing with Sanat outside, it all depends on how you use it. You know, it can be your biggest ally if you use it in a manner that works for you, and or otherwise. And to give you a very ridiculous example, it's when WhatsApp first came, all our seniors at home refused to use WhatsApp, and today it's impossible to get them out of WhatsApp. So, to give you an example, many of our writers still haven't come to terms with the fact that there is something looming behind them, like AI, right? But we are all using ChatGPT, right? So we may not be very open about the fact that we are using ChatGPT, but we have so many youngsters in our office who are using ChatGPT to formalize and better their emails, right? For example, if you're writing an email to your boss and you're unsure of the language that you've used, you just do a quick cut and paste and get ChatGPT to edit it for you. So I think I'll take the same example to screenwriting also. Yeah, there are so many advantages which I foresee right now. The first one is, in our country we have very few institutes that train you in screenwriting, right? Unlike the West. To name a few, you have the Film Institute in Pune, you have the Satyajit Ray Institute in Calcutta, you have Whistling Woods, you have Prasad, you have Annapurna, you have a handful of them. And there are so many youngsters who don't have access to this, to the training, to the formal training. And I think this is where a technology like this comes very handy, you know, because if you go to, let's use ChatGPT, because I'm guessing many of you would be familiar with that. If you go to ChatGPT and say, could you please help me write a horror? Know anything about screenwriting is going to help him think in that direction, right? This is what I need to do. There is a concept, there is a log line, any other examples, right? But for, let's say, for a trained, accomplished writer, tumba 10 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ script ಬರೀತಾರೆ, but you know what to do next. Technology as an assistant, right? It's a good place for you to brainstorm. And I'll give you an example. There's a very popular Puttana Kanagal film called Ranganayaki, right? So I was trying to say, okay, now help me adapt this film in Hindi in a modern context, right? And I got so many different options, to do that. So I think it's in the way we wish to use it. So when it comes to development, it's a great place to brainstorm. It's a great place for you to throw up ideas. You'll be surprised. A repository of ideas, right? Even technology derives it from literature, stories, films from over the years. That sometimes it's going to throw a unique idea that you may have not thought of either. So I personally look at it as an ally.
Just to add to what Chaitanya is saying, there is something called LLMs in AI. LLMs andre large language modules anta. What does this large language modules do is, it is reading all the text of one language. For example, you Kannada tagondre, it is reading Kambar, it is reading Karna, it is reading Kuvempu, it is reading Sai Sute, Tarasu, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. What it does probably in the future is, what we can do is, there is a script which you will, or a plot line, you will go to it and you say, write it to me in Tarasu style, or write it to me in Kambar style. Maybe it will throw up the same idea what you had in a way, in a script with maybe how Kambar would write his novel. So these are things which are in development. It is still taking time. Like what he said, ChatGPT are trained on the English language right now. It is trained on the large language modules of English. So it is having a lot of archival data of English. ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಿಗೂ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ವಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ. ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಇವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಕನ್ನಡ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಮೇಕರ್ಸ್ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಕನ್ನಡ ರೈಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇದು ಬಹಳ ದೂರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬಬ್ಲಿ the next session in this festival may be on only Kannada writing of AI. It can be that. So, but today we are in that edge of the curve where this is already happening, and that is where I want to come to you, because you do a lot of storyboarding and you use visual effects. How is that changing when the story comes to you, and how do you as a company take it forward? Or how is AI giving importance in this?
See, if you look at me, my background is to craft, and visual effects is not part of it. So where the visual effects always comes is when filmmaker says, I cannot do it. Okay, this is impossible to do, is where the visual effects traditionally step in. So when you look at it like that, for me, it's always about, okay, how do you do something which cannot be done? So I always looking at tools available, correct? If in that perspective, if you look at it, filmmakers were so tuned to their practices, which has been evolved over a period of 100 years. We are in a step where we'll adapt what a new tool is coming. That's how I look at it, correct? So for if you are into the business of telling stories through images, correct? So you're going to get a new tool to do your actually getting done in film, so-called film, and the digital technology came in, and it's actually completely disrupted the way we generated image, correct? But overall, it fell in the same framework because still it has a camera, only the medium is changed, correct? The quality of the medium changed, how the film react to a light, digital reacted in a different way. That was only change happened, correct? So now to understand what AI is doing to the filmmaking world, I will try to take another 100 years back, correct? Where the film is really started, correct? Have you really need to think in terms of when the film as a technology evolved, correct? So we are used to thinking that film is real, right? We look at it, film as real. But fundamentally, when the film started, it is actually an illusion of a movement. There is no movement in a film, correct? There is a series of images put together to make you feel there is a motion. That is how the film is generated, correct? So when the first film happened, stories were not there, nothing is there. People are just able to see what is, actually they can see exactly like that, as real as possible on the screen, correct? So you need to imagine 100 years back, color was not there, film was not running in the same speed, replicating the same kind of motion. It was very jerky motion, hand cranked films, correct? So that time the audience, the impact was, they felt it's so real, and apparently they ran out of the theater seeing that the train is coming into the thing, correct? So that's the kind of impact that image generated. So people picked it up, different people picked it up. So I'll just expand a little bit here to get the foundation right. The first people picked up for this film was magicians, correct? You would have George Millis and people like that. Whatever they were doing on the stage performance, they thought they could do it better using film. People disappearing, appearing, magic is happening. One reel films, correct? Then it started attracting people. People are showing everywhere. It's getting more and more attraction. So immediately people from theater background picked it up because they found it's an easy way to tell stories than setting up in a stage, correct? With that, there's a major people worked out different ways, new language evolved of storytelling, correct? Editing is evolved, all the technology evolved over a period of time, and suddenly the sound come. All this while sound was not there, correct? When the sound came to the visual, it added another dimension to your storytelling, correct? So till then, whatever was evolved as a language and grammar, again it changed, correct? And the similar kind of disturbance happened when the digital came. Mainly what happens is, before, any of you have actually worked with film as film here?
Sure, many of them.
Many of them are there, right? What was a big difference is when you're actually shooting on film, only the cinematographer knows what actually goes into the frame, right? Second thing is, whether it's exposed or not, only after printing he will see on the screen, correct? So there is rushes. So there is a lot of pre-visualization has to go, technical understanding there, need to generate an image, correct? And when it comes to the editor has no choice except watching through these rushes and make his editing decisions and cut the negative, join and print, then you will see the film, correct? So majority of the filmmaker happen in your head. So it is extremely tough for anybody to start making a film. I'm an apprentice with somebody for a long time to actually start making film, correct? So that thing completely disturbed with the video cameras. You remember MTV and television, music videos, right? What happened is image generation become much more easy with electronic image making, correct? So there's a completely different language of editing came in, correct? So which is completely disturbing the entire filmmaking, film editing language, because people are using electronically was not. So the rules of editing completely changed, correct? What happened, initially there is a resistance, but the filmmakers adapted. Okay, this is giving a better impact. So the new tool, a lot of people make mistakes. From there is a learning happen and the filmmaking evolved, correct? Same thing happened when the digital came. There was a major shake-up, correct? And right now I'm seeing even bigger shake-up is going to happen, because for us, you said first, for writing film, you have to write a film, right? Why? Because you need to tell a story to convince the producer, convince the director, convince the entire team, they need to know what your story is, correct? What images you saw is a filmmaker who just want to make an image, correct? He was able to just type in and get the image out. So it is like how language evolved, and that is where we are sitting in right now, is what I think.
So there's a new language actually coming up right now.
100%.
Yeah. That was actually very nice that you trespassed the interview, went through the whole journey of what happened. That's very, very interesting. But my question is, because you brought in the new language coming, can it generate original scripts? Is my question to both of you actually. Can AI generate, or can I write, give me a film or give me a script? What do you call, any of the pushes it can get and write something which is very unique.
So I'll immediately ask what is original. Correct? So the definitions are actually completely getting disturbed. Correct? So now I'll come back to one more point. If you look at the image generation, the power of this technology is coming to the common people first. Correct? Anybody who is using a mobile can generate images quickly than a technician like me who has been in the visual effects. The kind of tools, possibilities what I have of that higher quality images, correct? I'm not able to get that opened up first. This is very unlikely for any other technology. Any technology you look at it, first it will come to the people
who used to watch first.
Yes.
So the audience is getting the tool first and then it is going trickling up. So, yeah.
I have a slightly different take on that. Can AI generate an original script? 100% yes. Right? But can it write a nuanced, complex script, subtext? All the life experiences he's had, the people he has met, the emotions he's gone through, the highs, lows, the books he's read, the movies he's watched, sunsets he's watched, all that pour onto the paper, right? I don't think an AI has reached there yet. Sanat, correct me. Because if it has reached there, then screenwriting is the last of the problems, right? I think we have a bigger problem.
Yeah, it definitely, it's not reached in that way, correct? But why are we giving so much of importance to that particular aspect is, we are so used to seeing a film. Why are we seeing the film? We want to know somebody else's point of view. We might need to get entertained, and somebody with his experience, he put things together there, correct? So we are actually depending on that particular individual's exposure to the world, his understanding of what film is, his understanding of the language, whatever he has learned, correct? It's all come from that one individual's interpretation of what it is, correct? So if you look at the technology right now, it was able to put together hundreds of it's right or wrong, but it will really throw out. That's another major scary part. Unlike a software, it's yes or no, and outcome come based on what you plan. But in AI, whatever you ask, there is an answer is there. Is it right or wrong? You have to, as an individual, you have to make a decision. Correct? So that's the confusion there.
No, it's the thing is normally when technology developed, it used to affect one part of the streamline, right? It used to affect, let's say, editing or camera. So it used to come in and go at one point of time. But this change has happened throughout, from how much of money we make in which, so people can understand it. This is about how voice change and language change has happened. It's from a company called TrueSync. Please change it and we'll take the conversation forward.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you, and now we're stuck on this stupid freaking tower in the middle of freaking nowhere. And it's all my fault. 軽蔑してるよね。仕方ないよ。Y es todo por mi culpa. We're stuck on this stupid
Play.
Now we're stuck on this stupid tower in the middle of nowhere. Freaking tower in the middle of freaking nowhere. And it's all my fault. 軽蔑してるよね。Y es todo por mi culpa. We're stuck on this stupid tower.
Thank you. So you just saw what happened. There is a scene which is in English. There are some words which has to be censored. The First, they were able to remove the voice, they were able to scan the face, they removed the voice, completely changed to one word to another word. Then they are able to change the language in the same voice, dubbed voice, and the person is now speaking the same, the film is being spoken in different languages, from Japanese to Spanish to German or whatever. Now, this is the big change. Today, dubbing, translations, there is a huge change happening, subtitling, everything is going to
mistake, we go frame by frame and we correct it. Digitally, we had the possibility, but it's a time-taking process. We had actually done dialogue changes when hero said something, it didn't work. We have, those things we did, but it's a very, very laborious process. Right? Because when you're touching the face, to make it look so real, it's tough. Now, second aspect is the language change. Right? That is something we never even thought of doing it. What we do is, somebody's talking in English, we can make manipulation there, lip changes we can do, correct? To some extent, we can change the expressions. If somebody need to be toned down, those things we used to do. All of them was a visual effects bread and butter job, correct? That is gone. So, how do I look at it? It is about, if this is there, this is the first thing I will buy, the software. Right. Because I want to make my work faster, easier, correct? And the work, the team who does this, not really a skill, it's more of a manual pushing. So it involves so much of a pain for somebody to get it corrected. Right. So that way the job is easy, so I will adapt it any day.
You know, just to add to that, there is this company which makes, digressing a little bit, but this has already started impacting the business. There is a company which makes customized birthday wishes from stars. Yes. Right? And what they do is they take a couple of wishes, say, Anand, I wish you a happy birthday, Sanat, I wish you a happy birthday. And everything else is AI, then modified using AI depending on the person who's paid for the wish. Oh. So the stars are not aware that they're going to be replaced very soon, but for now they're making, money out of it.
No, I'll give you a small example, correct? Again, I'm too much into film history because whenever there is a shake-up, I try to go back and see the foundation. Okay, where did it start? Because I think survival is really about once you understand the root, more and more you go down to the root, you will survive, correct? So the example I'm going to give you is, I told you about sound coming, right? Till then the film is evolved to some level, there are big stars were there. Films were becoming big, correct? Suddenly the sound come, majority of the actors lost their job because they didn't have good voices. Correct? People who are superstars suddenly lost job because their voice was not good enough. They could not sing on the screen because they had to do. Correct? Lip, he has to look at it and do it, right? So that become a job. Correct? You don't know who dubbed. You only know visually who is it. Correct? Now, actually, there is a possibility of performance dubbing. Yeah. Correct? So imagine you have a character, all of your filmmakers, you have a story, your hero, you have some image in mind, correct? But for a filmmaking, because it's a real scenario, you have to adapt a real human being or hero as your actor. The actor is not the character, right? You're making the actor to do your character. And when you're trying to, as a director, if you're trying to direct an actor, you will go through a lot of pain to get him. But it's not there. I have to make those choices. Correct? Imagine a situation where you could actually dub. You get somebody who's a good performer. It doesn't matter. As a filmmaker, will you choose? If you're a true storyteller, you will choose. Right now, you will think 10 times because your business is not depending on the story. The business systems is different, right? But if some good stories come like that, business will change. True. Correct? So, are you ready to take that chance? This is the chance.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know how many of you have gone and visited the Abai studio, Abai campus here in near Whitefield. They have a 270 body scan camera. If you stand, they will take the whole of your body and it can be digitally put into a system, and they can world. It's happening here right now, and many of the heroes are now getting it done. I think recently you should have heard Anil Kapoor claiming that people are doing it, in their phones. Actually, I'll tell you something which might be interesting for you. There's a site called Heygen, Heygen. You can go back. You can take a 30-second clip. Okay, feed it, upload it, and you can choose which language you want the video to be in. If it's in English, you can choose Kannada, Russian, you can, Tamil, whatever. And the output will be not only translated, dubbed, but also lip synced. I'm not joking.
In real time.
In real time. I have tried it. The output, I got it in just like 4 minutes or something. It's very fast. 30 seconds, you can try it on your own. It's free. This is and Heygen is a company which is sitting in HSR. This is happening in real time. And I'm telling you, next year we'll have much bigger discussions on this. And it is scary. Means either it is scary or you have to adapt for it. You have to just take it inside you and say, let's use it in our films. Because filmmaking will become, at the end of the day, filmmaking is storytelling. Just how unique is your story and how better you can show it, I'm sure will win. I'll like to get one last question to both of you, and maybe we'll open it to audience. What is your prediction for the next 1 year? For 16th business, what do you think would have changed in AI? Sorry. I actually spoke to Sanath before.
Film technicians who have been doing the standard formats, can be adapted and do. So this body, we are having conversation, and one of the senior most person said, I don't know how the film is going to be after 5 years from now.
A senior person in the industry.
Because he's not saying film is not going to be there, but the form and how it is going to happen is becoming very unpredictable, is what it really means. So this change, what you saw on the visual moving images, which happened over a period of 1 year, from a very basic movement to very realistic looking thing. Correct? So the technology, more than that, which is actually available, which is not open. That is what you need to really understand. High quality images, high quality videos can actually be generated right now, correct? It is not open. Second thing is, generating this need huge processing power, correct? So that is another bottleneck we have. So once these things are very easily manageable, then it can change any time, correct? So right now the government is trying to control how it need to be. Because we are a generation who born, brought up thinking image is real. We take it as fact, correct? So that is what is changing, and that change has to happen gradually. Correct? So it's a controlled change. How much people control is how we'll decide what film will be now, 5 years from now. Technically, it can be completely destroyed today.
Your thoughts, Chaitanya?
Ananda, 2 weeks ago, if you'd asked me this question, I would have said, perhaps we're cool for several years. And then I saw the Sora clips. And then I'm like, okay, maybe we're not there yet. But I'm a big believer, I think still in stories. And I think as long as we layers and nuances, then I think we don't have much to worry about. But I also believe that if you are average, and if you're not, then you will be out of the game. Right. Because the AI is going to throw several above average scripts, right? In Hollywood, they've already started using AI to analyze those scripts. Yeah. In fact, I think some journalist tried to use the script of Men in Black and got it analyzed by the AI. which said that this is a fantastic script, needs to be a multiple franchise, blah 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 kind of stuff. We have still not started doing that, but those are for other logistical problems, because I get a script in Kannada, I get a script in Tamil, the AI speaks only English for now, right? But that day is not going to be far away, yeah. So, but as long as it doesn't think like a human being, I think we are okay for now.
I just want to add a small thing, because technology will keep coming and it keep improving, and it will be what I could not imagine is what going to be tomorrow. Correct? So as a human being, we are still powerful. We have to see it, don't see it as a threat, see it as a tool to get your imagination to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So pick it up, and this is the right time.
Great, so we'll open for questions, I think.
So, and again, I just on visual effects with a lot of confidence. Okay, but what right now I am also really learning. I think some of the people who are sitting here will have a better understanding. But the entire idea for me is about, if you want to survive, you have to learn. Before every year we have to update. Now it's about every day I need to update, is where I'm sitting.
Thank you. Yeah.
This is question for Chaitanya, sir.
Sir, keep it short. I see a long page. So.
No. The question I wrote it so that I couldn't forget.
Sure.
So, with due respect, sir.
If you don't mind, please, before asking the question, say your name so people know.
My name is Prayag. I'm basically a wildlife vet. This is a question for Chaitanya, sir. So, with due respect, like when you mentioned that AI could generate original script, I stand with Sanat, sir. The very fact what is original is subjective, right?
You know that we have movies, be it music, experiences, cultural context, everything, right? So it can generate a script which is seen. They're a visual spectacle, right? I'm sure AI can create it. You don't need, or on, back me up here, I think it's easy for an AI to create a story of that nature. But if you were to create something like Piku, for example, which is such a relationship, intimate story, I'm not sure at this point in time an AI can create it. So when I said an AI can possibly create an original script, I was referring to those kinds of films which rely heavily on visual effects, spectacle.
If I'm allowed to ask one too, sir. Yeah. You are mentioning about the source. If you understand the source, you can adapt to it. So those source is universal. Everyone claims that my source is original or my source is authentic. How you differentiate between subjective feeling and objective source? If I make my question clear to you.
Yeah, it is clear, and it's very important question, and it's very difficult to answer also. Correct? So your originality really come from, in a way, from all your experience you put together, and you thought, I'm not seeing something, this is what original, right? But imagine your originality can also come from your ignorance about things around you, correct? So a lot of people put together and say, oh, this is what I did for first time. You can, lot of comments we see, because now people are not worried about history. He does something first time in this film, correct? Unless and until somebody question them, it goes. Correct? So that's where I'm coming. It's subjective. Again, people make statement before anything on. You have to make a judgment on programs. We are used to understand. It's not black and white. Correct. There is an information go. It's a small info. Correct. It says certain weightage. It will get applied next. Correct. So what is the scary part is, there is an input for a AI. What process we won't know. On a software we know, because the programmer is already written, so he can actually predict. Unless only make a mistake, it will throw up correct answer only. That's why they rewrite the software, fine tune it further, so that all the errors are gone. In AI, it is really not in your hand, as an individual's hand. What are we doing? We are putting a systems and humans say this is right or wrong. You put a right or wrong. So from there that machine started learning. Correct? So after a point of time, it actually overtakes what input we give. Correct? That's the way it is developing, if I say very loosely.
Thank you both.
Sir, thank you. Wonderful session, Anand. Thank you, Sanat sir and Chandra sir. Chaitanya sir. So the point is, we don't need to get scared of this AI tamasha. From caveman paintings, we have come all the way till here.
So let's keep it to questions.
No, that's what. No. Point is, we don't need to get even worried about what all it throws back. But if we use it as a tool, it's a brilliant tool. Creative process. I'm just saying, tool to work, and there's a lot of scope. The full-fledged database is not there. Whatever field. So we start human superiority still.
Sir, Kede.
Sir, thank you very much for a very inspiring session on this AI. My observation is basically what is the future of the whole entertainment or the society is progressing in a different way actually. We are going to move towards metaverse. Ultimately our the way in which we are going to live is going to be in a metaverse universe or ecosystem. Now look at the entertainment industry and the artificial intelligence. Already we have Robin 1. Robin 1 has come in large action modules, basically. From LLM it has moved to large action modules. So in this particular scenario, what you said was really true. And how do you imagine metaverse or AI getting merged into metaverse? How do you look that kind of an ecosystem, and how do we start absorbing the entertainment per se?
Yeah, it is. If I understand correctly, let me just try to put it this way. Fundamentally, film is about a medium which is completely controlled by the filmmaker. Correct? Filmmaker decide what other person need to see from his perspective. He frame it, he will cut it short, exactly the feel he want, and that's how the film is done. Audience has no say in that film. He just have to listen. Correct? So now, if you get into the virtual spaces actually it opens up the audience into a space where you might actually lead through some logic for him to go, but it is completely for the audience to move. Correct? So that give another kind of experience and another kind of storytelling. Correct? So there is a new medium definitely will evolve and it will keep improving. More and more tool comes, you will try to make whatever you experience bigger and bigger. But the present day, what I am saying is, getting 100 people agree to one thing is very, very difficult. It's becoming more and more difficult. Correct? So everybody is becoming so individualistic and they want to be more my own thing and my own way of seeing it. So maybe film, there will be another kind of film come. Each one will see a film in a different way. Possibilities are there. Correct? So that's a creative challenge. If you take it as a creative challenge, that is the new playground for you to work with.
Thank you. Thank you.
As you mentioned, see, the idea of games is that the game is where the audience decides where they want to go. In a film, the director decides this is what the audience will see. But on a game level, which as he's saying, today the audience might decide, I don't want this ending, I want to see another ending. Maybe we will have multiple endings which we can watch it. So maybe AI will facilitate the different kind of storytelling where we can have multiple kind of stories which we want to watch.
Correct. And the point is that technology gives that possibility. So as a creative person, you're not inventing technology. You're manipulating the technology, right? So what are we saying? Most of this, what you saw, the audio things are real time, right? So now just imagine your distribution is not about one theater, real time, there is a possibility to modify your film. That means every performances of the film can be different. Potential is there, correct? Are you creative enough to make it engaging so that people go, wow, this is the experience I need to be. Okay, that is the future, I feel.
Large machine learning.
Yes, yes.
The repository of large machine learning.
It will be there.
It's going to be exploding. Yes. It's going to explode.
Hello, sir. This is Nirak. I'm a student. My question is, like, in the future, when they start making scripts in AI, right, and those scripts will be made into films, and what if, like, when there's nominees for awards in screenwriting, yeah. So how fair is it to give the award to a screenwriter who has used AI to make his script over a person who has used all his experiences, without inculcating any external artificial extensions? How fair is it to provide or give the award to an AI?
We'll give it to the AI.
Hey, let me ask you one question. You are giving cinematography award?
Yeah.
Yes? So how much of the image the cinematographer created now?
I understand, but screenwriting it's a very personal process.
You're able to understand because of your accepting that technique, right, of a camera, right? So this is another tool he will use. Computer, somebody is typing and doing all the grammar correction, right? Earlier I said, if you want to write poetry, you need to learn all these things like that, we say, no?
Yes.
Correct. So the tool, you have to adapt and you need to go with it, and there might be one special award for classical way of writing script.
There should be two categories. Like
Yes,
AI.
definitely will be there. Right now already there. Screenplay adapted and screenplay original. There will be one more category.
Yeah, but for in the recent strike that in the US and the Hollywood strike, this was one of the concerns. So for now, just for now, the solution is that all original material will come from a writer and not an AI.
Human being.
Yeah, and they will not be shortchanged when it comes to compensation, even if they've used help from AI. But that's only for now. You never know how it's going to change.
But I think you should use the script. It's a very interesting one. Yes, please.
Hi. I'm Sunil. I'm facing aspects of AI. What you can do with AI. The problems with AI is behind it. Is what it's been built on. Is all LLM, LLM is none of artists have actually, with the image generations, they pointed out and said, this is a part of my photograph that's part of this image, and things like that. So when all these data sets are hidden and we don't know where they've stolen, it's theft. At the end of the day, it's theft. As an artist, as a filmmaker, as a writer, isn't there an ethical responsibility that we come with to not steal somebody else's work? Because at the end of the day, we are taking somebody else's work. None of the technologies, none of the steps of filmmaking that you referred to, sir, none of them destroyed somebody else from so forth. 3D cinema didn't destroy 2D, but this will destroy legacy cinema. I think during the writer's strike, there were some portions that were not shot, and apparently Amazon used AI-generated images to fill up the sequences of this, which is just horrible. And it's already happened. This has already happened, and there's been no remedy for it. So that is the scarier part, rather than what the tools can generate and the regulation for it. I think until the data sets are made public and consent is a regular part of the conversation of how it's not a fair comparison to make this to all the previous generations.
I don't have an answer to it right now, because right now it seems like a toy that's in everyone's hands, right? And everyone is just going free for all with it. At some point in time, I'm guessing there'll have to be regulations put in place.
No, any tool, that's what happens. Once something new come, use it and go manipulating, correct? If it has started hurting, true with every technology. The practices, you've been
has. I think these, the deep fake videos that you've been seeing about have already started hurting people, right? And it had, I think there was some government involvement, intervention there. So I think, like he said, Sanat said, it's also got to do with personal ethics. And sometimes large corporations are not really known for their personal ethics. Yeah.
No, as you mentioned earlier, earlier every tool used to come to a practitioner first and go down later, but it's now going the other way around, which is probably...
There is an emergency to be the best company, and they opened up, and then it's all business which is running behind, nothing else.
No, hacking has become ethical hacking now. So similarly,
that's a different thing. Really.
No, same way this will come into control.
Ethical hacking is different.
No, control.
It was a very interesting session, much needed. I have a question, basically, Chaitanya. Do you see, because Hollywood, I hear, already has prompt engineers being hired. So when do you think Indian corporations and Indian production houses will start hiring? I mean, I'm probably contrarian to everyone over here who's worried about it, but I think it's high time we get these roles, right? And prompt engineers probably...
We are informally doing it already.
Actually, you should point out, when is Tulsi hiring your prompt engineers?
We don't. But you know what, Sunan, I think it's happening. They may not be calling it prompt algorithms. So your cliffhangers in your episodes, at what point in time you're supposed to feel which natural writer may not write that way, but this inputs come from the streamers. So that is coming from a place which they may not be called, they're all called creative producers, but they're actually prompt engineers.
It's last 2-3 questions so that we'll close the session. You can always, Chaitanya and Sanat will hopefully hang out for some time, so you can...
We'll hang out to hear more answer from you than answering questions.
Hi, I'm Tejas. I just had a couple of questions. One is, which end of the day, is it today, tomorrow, or say a few months down the line? Yeah, thank you.
No, it is already there. It's not today, tomorrow, or anything. It's already there.
It's actually yesterday.
Yeah, and the scary part of it is, if you are getting into a software, it's much expensive comparing to AI tools. Correct? It's much more cheaper to start with, but where the real churning is about training your data. You need to have immense data, and it need to be trained. That need a large machine power. Correct? That is where we are lacking right now. Whatever the systems around is not enough, and more you put it, even more data is there. And to complicate more, now not just the text and images, they actually started putting completely audio information. So all the language what we speak is been actually started fed into in different places. Correct? So the data is immense. How to process is what the real challenge.
Easier to go with a human writer than with AI.
Hi sir. Yeah, my name is Srinidhi. I'm a filmmaker and an actor. Yeah, my question is for both of you. As a filmmaker, when I'm writing a screenplay or script, I believe that AI can't take our creativity. Like, I think AI will be thinking like on an objective basis. We actually think, as a writer, we actually think on a subjective way. As you said, it can't be taken like metaphor, subtext and all. So I'm okay with that AI, but after watching these videos and all, I'm worried about an actor, sir. I'm also an actor. Like, actor, AI can produce the expression also. I have done theatre for 2 to 3 years, learning a lot of techniques in acting. So I'm more very worried about actors, sir. What is the future of actors?
Be better actor.
Expressions also, after seeing that astronaut trailer and post-production video which you showed, it's dubbing language also, the lip sync, it's very creative. That's why I'm asking.
Buddy, in our country, it's never a level playing field for a good actor, right? I'm guessing you are from not a film family or anything like that. So the brighter side is it's a level playing field for everyone, right? you're competing with AI generated actors and yourself, you know. But yeah, I think one of the most concerning aspects of this would be for actors. Yeah. You know, that is the truth.
सर कन्नड़ा हिंदी चलेगा? कन्नड़ा हिंदी फिल्म मेकिंग एस्पेक्ट में सभी एस्पेक्ट में इतना डेवलपमेंट हुआ, एडिटिंग, फोटोग्राफी, एवरीथिंग. तो सत्यजीत रे के ज़माने में यदि ये फैसिलिटी होता तो सत्यजीत रे कैसे डायरेक्टर कैसे फिल्म दे सकते थे? Some different question I think.
वो पता नहीं सर, लेकिन they are taking all the old films and trying to give a new
पतेर पांचाली वगैरह as a text we have studied.
Instead of making 10 films, you would have made 50 films.
Yeah.
Because he's written lot of stuff, and some of his script he was not able to make it because the technology was not supporting and finance was not supporting.
Original for ET.
We'll take one last question and close this thing.
Hello sir, good afternoon. So my question is, would there be any legal issues faced by production house for using AI in bigger scale, because many visuals are on patent and copyrights? So would there be any legal issues faced?
No, all the patented and copyrighted images, even now we cannot use it. It is a problem. In what is getting generated, it's still not, the law is not really come in place, but people are actually using it and they are modifying it. They are using it only as an initial exploration to give out different ideas, because that's where the main difference for the concept artist. Concept artists, they see it as their work as the ultimate. Filmmakers use it as a starting, what you call, initial thing to take off from there, correct? So those areas, it's like a rough version to pick up. Extensively it is getting used, the AI generated images, but you won't see it as a final thing.
Okay. Last and we have to stop. We have the press meet in the next 20 minutes.
Hi, I'm Mithun. I'm from animation background. So the AI, what I see is that, where we do frame-to-frame animation, it has reduced the workload. So when it comes to adding to the previous question, IP, how do you register if I create a content using completely AI, an animation sketch or something? So is there a possibility where I can register an IP for that?
So there are, the basic laws are actually getting reworked on right now. How do you say what is an IP and what should be the, this work? Even in AI generated images, they are actually saying this is original by creating specific signatures. Like you have a watermark for an image, right? Like that, there are watermark they are generating, digital watermarks which we cannot see, but the system can read to show where the origin is, how it has come. So and it is got encoded in this, there is a possibility of distributing that money to them. All these models are actually been thought through and worked through, because what we have been practicing, those laws or those practices will not apply here. We need to find a new way of doing it, correct? So there is a lot of trial and error has to go through on this.
Just adding, what is the quality it is producing now? Like 4K, IMAX, is that quality achievable through AI?
So
and the surround sound, the
really high standard, high quality images can be generated, but the software are not sorted, because our laws, depending on images as a proof, right?
It's a new world and we are going through new challenges with artificial intelligence. But thank you very much for taking time and being here. Thank Chaitanya and Sanat for being here. Thank you very much. Have a great session.
Thank you everybody for a wonderful and insightful session. Now I request the Joint Artistic Director of the Bengaluru